Are you someone who has never invested in stock market? If yes, then today's show will tell you how big a money making opportunity you have not even explored. Friends, I am Aprajita and today we are joined by Varun Malhotra. He is a certified financial and technical analyst. Mr. Varun will tell us today the importance of investing in stock market and the simplest way to do so. Welcome Varun on the show today.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
I'll start with the sad misconception that people have about stock market, that it is too risky. So please explain our viewers why this is a misconception and why, as Warren Buffett says, it's impossible to lose money in stock market.
Perfect. So that's a great question to start with. So the idea is there are two types of risk. When you say risk, so the problem is how do you understand risk? So one is volatility and one is the risk of losing money. And now if you are investing in a particular stock, if you are investing in a particular company, if the company goes out of business, you will actually lose a lot of money, and there is actually a lot of risk. But if you are investing in a very passive way, which is if you are investing in the GDP of the country. Now when I say GDP of the country, say Indian GDP is about $2.5 trillion, and out of this $2.5 trillion, about $1.5 trillion or $1.25 trillion would be represented by the top 50 companies of the country, which is the Sensex and Nifty. So Sensex with the top 30 companies and Nifty would be top 50. So if you're investing in the GDP of the country, you're always safe, because the GDP, nothing is going to happen to the GDP of the country. As and when the GDP keeps on increasing, your invested amount in Sensex and Nifty, that will keep on increasing.
Correct. And also what I have observed, that people, at least layman investors, don't understand the difference between trading and investing. So the risk associated with trading, they overlap it on investing as well. So explain this difference, and also which is the way suitable for a layman investor.
Absolutely. So I would say layman or professional person, the right way is always investing. Now the reason why investing is misunderstood is, when I say investment, the word investment by definition means investing in something and believing in its future cash flows. So if you are investing in a house and you believe in the future cash flows that you are going to get over a period of time, and if you believe the present value of all future cash flows are going to be more than the invested amount, that's known as investment. Investment never means that buying something and when the price goes higher, you sell it. That is speculation or trading.
While people may not direct invest in equity market, but they do invest via mutual funds. So explain our viewers the difference between active funds and passive funds, and this entire mechanics behind expense ratio and other costs involved while buying a mutual fund.
So the idea of passive investment is, if you believe that the markets are efficient. Now when I say efficient market hypothesis, it basically means that when you take a Delhi metro, do you see 1,000 rupee or 2,000 rupee notes on the floor? You never do that. The reason is markets are efficient. The moment somebody drops 2,000 rupee note, somebody will pick it up. Similarly, in this financial market, there are n number of mutual fund managers who are trying to find the hidden gem, or they are trying to find stocks that are going to beat the index. Now if n number of mutual funds are trying to find the best stock, which mutual fund manager will be able to do that? Most of the people think that my mutual fund manager is an expert, but the idea is n number of mutual fund managers are expert, and if everybody is trying to find the best stock, very few people would be able to get them, and the people who get them are not skillful. It is basically more on the luck side. I'm not saying completely on the luck side, but more on the luck side. And even if there is a skill involved, the time taken to understand that the fund manager is very skillful, by that time the fund becomes so big that if you try to invest in that company or that mutual fund, that fund becomes so big that it would be very difficult for the fund manager to beat the index continuously.
And talking about taxes, we all are required to pay taxes each year. So is there a way out so that we can reduce our taxable income and at the same time invest in equity market? Is there a way out?
Right now, Nifty Index Fund actually does not give you a Section 80C tax benefit, which is the 1.5 lakh tax benefit that people generally take by investing in equity market. So right now, if you want to save tax and want to invest in stock markets, the only option that you have is ELSS funds, which is equity linked savings scheme. So equity linked savings scheme, by investing 1.5 lakh every year in ELSS schemes, you actually save taxes as well as you get a benefit of the growth in the stock market. But again, in ELSS, there are no passive funds as of now. There are only active funds. So here you will have to go for active funds.
how can someone select a good ELSS fund?
So I keep on saying you just can never actually
Never
find
predict.
out the best fund. All you can do is you can basically spread your spread your money in say 2 or 3 different mutual funds and hope, pray, wish that your mutual fund comes at the top.
And another sad misconception that we see in India, that people prefer investing in real estate. They'll buy property, houses, and may not go for investing in equity market. So, should they prefer reality over equity market or not?
So whenever you are buying a house, there are two things that you need to check. One is the rental yield versus the bank yield. So in, say 20 years back, the price of the house and the rent of the house would be somewhere around, the rental yield would be somewhere around 5 or 6% or 7%, whereas the bank rate was about 10%. So if you put your money in the bank, you would have got 8-9%, and if you had taken a house, the rent that you would have expected for that house would be somewhere around 7 to 8%. So the rental yield was very close to the bank yield. If you go to developed countries, in some cases the rental yield is slightly more than the bank yield. That is the sign of a developed nation, that everybody can actually borrow money and take a house. But right now in India, what has happened is the price and earnings. So there has to be like we said, if the business does well in the long run, which is if the earnings keep on increasing, price will eventually follow. Whereas what has happened in realty markets in last 10 years is the earnings have been going up by 10% every year, which is the rent that you actually pay. So the rent keeps on increasing on an average by 10% every year, but the price of the house has gone by around say 20% every year. So the price has actually gone ahead of the earnings, and that happens in stock markets as well. Similarly in housing, since the earning growth rate is 10% and the price of the house have gone 16-20% every year, it means price has gone ahead of it, and it has to actually come should have a reversion to mean.
So if we categorize our audience in 20 years age, 30 years age, and 40 years age, so how much amount a 20 something or 30 something or 40 something should invest in equity market to plan their finances?
The 20-year-old would have to invest around 2,500 rupees every month for 40 years, and I'm not even considering a growth in this investment amount as when your salary increases. But 2,500 invested for 40 years compounded at 17% would be somewhere around 14 crores. And if you take a rate of return of around 15%, that number would increase to somewhere around 4,500. So 4,500 every month, considering a return of 15%, would make 14 crores by the time you're 60, and that would be good for your retirement. Similarly, for a 30-year-old, things start to get little difficult, because now you have 30 years to save and the 60 to 90 remains same. So again, if I'm 30, my monthly expense assuming to be 1 lakh, that would be somewhere around 5.74 lakhs when I'm 60. So I would require 5.74 lakhs every month from the age of 60 to 90. To get that, I need to accumulate somewhere around 7.82 crores. 7.82 crores in the bank when I am 60, so that I would be able to withdraw 5.74 lakhs. And for that, a 30-year-old, if he invests 7,000 rupees, roughly 7,000 rupees every month, compounded at 15%, or about 11,000 rupees every month compounded at 15%, would make him what would make around 7.82 crores for him. Now the 40% for a person who is 40-year-old, things are going to get really difficult now, because you have only 20 years to save. But for a 20-year-old, same example of 1 lakh would be somewhere around an SIP of about 22 to 26,000 every month, to accumulate somewhere around 4.3 crores when you are 60, so that you would be able to withdraw 3.2 lakhs every month. That would be the inflation after 20 years. So these should be the numbers when you are planning for your retirement.
If our viewers are to start SIPs this day on, so how can they do that? Which website to log on to? Which details to be filled in?
If the viewers understand that index funds are best, then they need to actually go to any mutual fund house like UTI, IDFC, HDFC mutual fund, but they don't have to go to a bank. If you go to a bank, you end up actually buying a regular fund. So you need to go directly to their mutual fund houses and just tell them that I want a Nifty 50 index fund. Nifty 50 index fund, direct growth. Direct basically means there is no agent involved in it, and growth basically means the dividend that these companies will declare should be reinvested. So Nifty index fund, direct growth, by going to any mutual fund house. Or the other option is you can go to their websites and buy these funds.
Thank you, Varun, for sharing this information with us. Well, I hope you liked the video, and if you did, then please start investing in stock market. New financial year has just started. Take this financial resolution to start your SIPs this day on. And last but not the least, keep watching Zee Business for more such videos.